It's Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Nøgne, and it's a bottle of their India Saison. It's a Belgian IPA in a 500ml bottle, and it's coming in a 7.5% ABV, and it's 40 IBUs. Here's a look at the bottle cap. Okay, so without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. Whoa, look at the smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. It smells really good even from this distance. Beer in the glass then. Two to three finger white head, good levels of carbonation. It really does look like a Belgian ale. I love that kind of equal. The carbonation is moving equally up the glass, and it's also right the way through the glass as well. It's not like little bits of carbonation over this side of the glass. It's all over the glass, and you can see the slight haze in the beer as well. It looks really good. Looks really good. I'm going to say at this stage of the beer review, the beer was sent to me by Nøgne, but we are independent. We review the beer independently. Whether the brewery sends it or not, we'll tell you if it's good, average, or bad. Right, I like the look of that so far. Looks really nice for a Belgian IPA. Let's get the aroma. Oh, it's really zingy. Really zingy, really lovely. I've always been a fan of Nøgne. Always been a fan of their beers. I think they're one of the best brewers in Norway. Always have been in my eyes. Even after their takeover. I still believe that they produce really, really good, solid, incredible beers. And just by getting my nose into this beer, I'm getting a little bit of spiciness, a little bit of pepperiness going on. It's like lemon flavours coming through, Belgian candied sugar coming through. It's really hoppy and malty. It's a really intriguing beer because there's so much going on. You could spend 5 minutes just standing, you know, sitting, standing, whatever you're doing, just picking small, subtle flavours from the beer. But the obvious ones are, it's quite jammy, like a mixed fruit jam. Spicy and peppery and slightly sweet and very hoppy. Should we dive in? Cheers, everybody. Oh man. Really good, really good. I'm really enjoying the dryness, just how dry this beer is. It's got the qualities of a dry white wine, you know, where you find a dry white wine really refreshing, but at the same time it's drying your palate. Wow, what a beer. Stone the crows. Carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth. It's not overly aggressive with the carbonation, but it's definitely leaning towards that Belgian style bitterness. And I completely said that wrong. I'll start again. That Belgian style carbonation where I was thinking bitterness, where the carbonation really kind of just pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth and releases more of that flavour. Next thing then, the bitterness. It has got a nice bitterness to it. It's definitely got some of that Belgian candied sugar. This is a lovely beer from Nøgne. And here we go then. Now this is something even more interesting, because with a beer like this, gravity plays its part in every form of our lives. So some of the flavour would have made its way to the bottom of the bottle. Some of the sediment, you can see the beer's changed. A little bit more sediment there in the beer, and what you're going to find now is the beer's either been softened, which it looks like it has, a little bit less carbonation. It would have softened a little bit with the carbonation, and it might have had a little bit more flavour. And that's only from my experience of drinking beers like this, where it's the sediments in the bottom of the bottle. Here we go. Oh yeah, much more lemony. Much more lemony and apricot-like. Passion fruit, mango flavours coming through. Oh, it's really nice. It's a really nice beer that it's evolving. It's evolving in front of my eyes. You know, you're having a little bit of beer and then you're trying it, and then you're adding the sediment in the bottom of the bottle. It's why I love beer as much as I do. It evolves in the glass. But you get that Saison, that Belgian Saison style. And let me explain what that is. It's a little bit funky. It's a little bit farmhouse-like. A little bit, dare I say it, horse blankety. Now this style of beer was developed in Belgium and France hundreds of years ago, and it was developed for or by the farm owners. It was like a table beer that was given to the farm workers at lunchtime. The farmer would of course make bread and cheese and beer to keep his farm going, and of course he'd make some of that bread and cheese and beer for his workers. It was part of their contract, if you like. It's part of their pay. So I can just imagine, you know, being a farm worker and going, oh, I'm not gonna work for this farm anymore. I'm gonna work for that farm over there because the beer tastes a little bit better, or the bread's a little bit better. So they would give the beer out and the bread and the cheese lunchtime. So they do a morning shift, whatever they were doing on the farm, hard labour. They give them some beer, some bread. They consume that, of course, and then they do an afternoon's work. It would give them enough energy to do that afternoon's work. So that was the history. That is the history of the Belgian Saison, the French Belgian Saison. And I like the thought of it. I've always liked the thought of that. I've always liked the story, because I can imagine myself, you know, having to work in a field, cutting hay or whatever farmers do, and thinking, gosh, it's getting a bit warm now, you know, it's lunchtime, getting a bit hungry, getting a bit thirsty. Shall we, here comes the farmer with a big jug of beer. You know, it's not bad going, is it? This is a lovely brew though. It's a lovely brew. It really is evolving in the glass as I'm drinking it. I've had a few weeks. 2020 has been a really busy year for me. I sent quite a lot of beer from fantastic people all around the world, and breweries are still sending beer. So I do a bit of juggling. You know, this beer needs to be reviewed before this beer, and you know, but I've had this beer a little while, and I thought I've got to get round to this. It sounds absolutely fantastic. I've also got some older stuff that Nøgne sent, and I'm just saying this because if the guys are watching from Nøgne over in Norway, I haven't forgotten. I've put some of the large bottles you sent in my wine rack just to remind me, and not only to remind me, some of these beers are big barrel-aged imperial stouts. And what's this one? This one's a Thicket and Thorns Blackberry Reserve beer. That is 6% ABV. So that's gonna last. That's gonna last some time. Wow, you can see the suspension in there. So we will get round to that one. I wanted to get the hoppy stuff. I always like to get the hoppy stuff out the way first though. So viewers, there will be lots of Nøgne stuff coming in the future. But I'm going to rate this one. I like it. Tropical, fruity, fresh, seafood and summer. 7.5% ABV. It really is drinking really well. It's got the combination of American IPA versus Belgian Saison. It's like one big battle in the glass. Grapefruit, passion fruit, mango, and then Belgian dryness, good carbonation, and lots of Belgian candied fruits, and that kind of horse blankety funky flavour coming through. I really like that. I like that enough to give it a 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!